Welcome to the deep dive. There's just so much information out there today. It's overwhelming sometimes. Our goal here is always to try and cut through that noise.
Absolutely. To find the signal, find what's really being said in the material we look at.
And today we are really diving deep into some, well, let's just say very dense and pretty audacious source material.
Yeah, audacious is a good word for it.
It centers around the Vault 7 leak from WikiLeaks, but the way our source interprets it, it goes way beyond just a leak.
Much further.
So, our mission for you listening in is to unpack these, frankly, astonishing claims. We want to understand the history the source lays out, the alleged history, and really try to grasp the scale of what it calls a secret war against we the people.
Waged by this so-called invisible government. And just to be clear, we're exploring the claims in the text.
Exactly. This is about what the source says. And just to set the stage, the source states this leak is, quote, just 1% of what will be coming.
And that this was information we were never supposed to find out about. That's quite a hook.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even begin?
Well, the source starts right at the core, I think. This central allegation about what Vault 7 really means.
Right. It's not just about illegal CIA spying, which is huge in itself. No, the source says that's just like a surface symptom.
Exactly. A symptom of this larger hidden conflict, this secret war run by an entity they call the Secret Shadow Government, or SSG.
And the key thing, according to the source, is that this SSG is basically unknown to most people. You don't hear about it in the mainstream media.
Not at all. And what's fascinating, or maybe disturbing, depending on how you look at it, is the source's origin story for the CIA itself.
Yeah, that jumped out at me too. The public reason is the Cold War, right? Anti-communism.
And that's the official line.
Yeah.
But this source claims the CIA actually morphed into the secret control arm of the Fourth Reich.
Wow, okay. How?
Well, the source argues it happened because of the agency's own intense secrecy. That secrecy allowed or even encouraged criminal activities, all justified under the umbrella of national security.
A secret control arm of the Fourth Reich. That's quite a claim. So how does the source trace the specific beginnings of this secret shadow government?
It points right back to the end of World War II. Operation Paperclip.
I've heard of that, bringing German scientists over.
Right, but the source claims it was much broader. Not just rocket scientists. It says the U.S. government imported the Nazi spy system itself, along with, get this, over 9,000 Nazi scientists, technicians, bioweapons people, psychiatrists, mind controllers, intel agents, the whole apparatus.
9,000. That's a huge number. And then the source connects us to Roswell.
Directly. It makes this really extreme claim that the immediate reason for creating the CIA with the National Security Act of 1947 was the Roswell UFO
Comfort crash.
The alleged crash, yes. The source claims 5 alien bodies, 1 survivor found nearby. This apparently sent the U.S. military into, well, a total panic. Absolute secrecy was clamped down.
In the weather balloon story.
A quickly invented cover, according to the source, later replaced by the Project Mogul test dummy story. The source insists both of these have been fully debunked. Now, of course, that's the source's perspective, and it's very contested.
Okay, so Roswell happens, leads to secrecy, leads to the CIA's formation, and Truman.
The source asserts President Truman didn't realize what he was doing, that he unknowingly signed away U.S. sovereignty by creating this structure, this SSG, something it claims he later regretted.
And then comes this even more audacious leap, connecting it all back to the Nazis.
Yes, the source claims the CIA formed this sort of symbiotic partnership with U.S. intelligence, focused on alien tech recovered from crashed UFOs. They cite an incident in Bavaria as an example. And this alliance, allegedly, led directly to the rise of the Fourth Reich.
A Fourth Reich operating secretly within the U.S. structure, fueled by alien tech. That's the core of that claim.
That's the core claim. And it gets even more detailed. The source talks about a Nazi general, Kammler, having a secret plan.
What kind of plan?
Apparently, to hold back the really advanced alien tech, anti-gravity, that kind of thing, they shared rocketry and jets, but kept the best stuff to try and build a parallel, secret Nazi space program.
A secret Nazi space program? Where?
The source mentions alleged murders of the scientists working on anti-gravity and rumors of Kammler transporting a select group, maybe to South America, maybe to a secret base in Antarctica.
Antarctica keeps coming up in these kinds of narratives.
It does. The source speculates about, future discoveries from Antarctic digs revealing more. Pure speculation within the source material, of course.
So if the secret group had this tech, How did it supposedly spread or get managed?
Well, according to the source, the job of back engineering the recovered UFO tech wasn't kept within the government itself. It was handed off to numerous defense contractors.
Ah, the military-industrial complex connection.
Precisely. And the source claims these contractors became effectively independent, unaccountable to the American people. They formed this large subterranean government.
Subterranean, you mean literally underground?
Both. Literally, the source claims there are deep underground military bases, DUMBs, maybe 140 of them, linked by high-speed maglev trains, and figuratively, a secret government operating in the shadows.
So this alleged SSG just grew and grew.
Stronger and more tyrannical, according to the source, setting up massive spying systems. First against war protesters, then with cell phones and the internet, basically targeting every single American.
And the source uses the term super-fascist to describe the U.S. because of this.
Yes, defining it as a state where corporations, specifically these defense contractors running the secret space program, and spy ops become dominant and essentially install their puppets in government.
How would they control elected officials according to this narrative?
The source claims they either pick and groom officials for promotion or they compromise them.
Compromise them how?
Using sophisticated sexual and pedophile honey traps, often involving alcohol or hypnotic drugs. It's a very dark picture the source paints of how power is allegedly maintained.
It really is. So, okay, this sets up this idea of a hugely powerful, completely hidden entity, the SSG, controlling things behind the scenes. What does the source claim this entity, often acting through the CIA, actually does? What are its actions?
Right, and that's where the source gets incredibly specific. It lays out what it calls 9 major RICO crimes attributed to the CIA.
Using the ARCO statute framework, that's usually for taking down organized crime families.
Exactly. The source is deliberately framing the CIA as an organized crime syndicate here. It's a very pointed accusation. Should we go through them?
Yeah, let's break them down. What's the first one?
Number 1, illegal drug trafficking. The source claims the CIA traffics drugs into the U.S.
Why?
to fund its black money covert operations, things off the official books, and also, allegedly, to deliberately create massive chaos in society. The source even calls the CIA the cocaine importing agency.
Wow. Does it give specifics?
It mentions an alleged alliance with the New York Mafia, brings up John Gotti's death from what it calls a strange, rare case of throat cancer, supposedly so he couldn't talk, and the alleged murder of journalist Gary Webb, who wrote the book Dark Alliance about CIA crack cocaine connections.
Okay, that's a heavy start. What's number 2?
Setting up mercenary armies and terrorists. The claim is the CIA trains, finances, and deploys private armies and terrorist groups
For what purpose?
to start color revolutions, overthrow governments, and generate wars that benefit what the source calls the industrial banking defense complex and its alleged 66 major family shareholders.
All right, number 3.
This one's really disturbing. Mind control operations. Inside America.
Oh.
The source alleges the use of satanic cult networks as cover for these operations, involving horrific things like satanic ritual abuse, pedophilia, and human sacrifice rituals. It cites something called the Finders Program as an example.
That's extremely dark territory.
It is. The source even claims top figures involved in pedophilia and mind control are sometimes given diplomatic immunity because they're considered CIA assets.
Okay. What's the 4th alleged crime?
The deployment of advanced, highly sophisticated psychotronics and SCUPs against the American public without their consent.
Psychotronics and SCUPs. Can you clarify what the source means by those terms? They sound like science fiction.
Within these types of claims, psychotronics usually refers to alleged technologies that can influence the mind and body remotely, using electromagnetic waves or other means. SCUPs seems to be a related term, possibly referring to surveillance or influencing scope. The source claims these are deployed through things like Wi-Fi, cell towers, maybe scalar waves.
And what are the alleged effects on people?
According to the source, it's used to shape group thinking, in-train thoughts, basically dumbing down the masses. It also blames these technologies for things like sleep problems, fatigue, memory issues, and even physical symptoms.
So we've got drugs, mercenaries, mind control, psychotronics. It's a pattern of alleged covert manipulation on a massive scale. What's number 5?
Number 5 is what the source calls bust-out schemes. Essentially, large-scale financial fraud.
How does that work?
The source claims the CIA infiltrates banks, runs sophisticated scams, hijacks corporations, all to generate huge amounts of untraceable money for its black budget. This is supposedly why some insiders call the CIA the company, because it operates like a greedy, illegal business.
Okay. Number 6.
Control of the media. The Controlled Major Mass Media, or CMM.
What's the claim here?
That the CIA effectively controls the 6 big media conglomerates, making it an illegal monopoly. This control is allegedly exercised through a secret news council that reports to a large investment firm, one with both legitimate and criminal divisions, according to the source.
And the purpose of this control?
To push false narratives, big lies, and twisted propaganda specifically designed to mind control the American masses.
All right, number 7.
Assassinations. The source flat out accuses the CIA of assassinating major public figures.
Who do they name?
People like JFK, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Senator Paul Wellstone. The claim is these deaths are often disguised, made to look like accidents, suicides, or natural causes. They even have a term for it: CIA flu.
How are these assassinations supposedly carried out?
The source mentions some very specific, almost James Bond-like methods. Poisoned steering wheels, tiny radioactive discs placed on car seats, and something called Boston Brakes cyber interfaces to remotely cause car accidents.
Boston Brakes.
Yeah, that's the term used. The source cites the death of journalist Michael Hastings as an example, and also mentions alleged issues with Toyota accelerators and Samsung batteries as possibly related to this type of interference.
Okay. Only 2 left. What's number 8?
Alliances with organized crime. This echoes the first point about drug trafficking.
How is this different?
It's broader. The source claims the CIA forms strategic partnerships with major criminals, giving them immunity from prosecution for serious felonies. In return, these criminals become informants and CIA partners in crime, providing cover, plausible deniability, and intel for covert ops.
And the last one, number 9.
Setting up fake groups. The source claims the CIA creates special interest political groups, fake charities, and infiltrates legitimate organizations, churches, political action groups.
Why? What's the goal?
To sow discord, generate conflict, and ultimately implement what the source calls a globalist NWO agenda. New World Order. It controversially claims this agenda is run by Babylonian Talmudic private central banksters run out of the City of London, also calling them the Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia. We have to note these are highly charged terms often found in specific conspiracy theories.
Definitely charged language. Wow. That is an absolutely staggering list of alleged crimes. A complete indictment of the CIA and this hidden SSG. It paints a picture of total covert control.
It's relentless.
Right.
A narrative of pervasive hidden power manipulating almost every aspect of society.
So, after laying all this out, does the source offer any hope? Any sense of resistance or evidence coming to light? If we connect this to the bigger picture, what does our source say about potential evidence or efforts towards disclosure?
It does touch on that. It mentions, for instance, exotic top-secret flight machines, basically advanced aircraft that were supposedly confirmed by Aviation Week and Space Technology magazine back in 1990, seen near Nellis and Edwards Air Force bases. Real-world mentions mixed into the narrative.
Interesting. Any whistleblowers mentioned?
Yes, it highlights the claims of a man named William Tompkins, apparently supported by Jeff Renz, who alleged long-term involvement in the secret space war program.
And this idea of a secret space program, does the source suggest there's debate within this alleged hidden world?
It does. It claims that the group supposedly in charge of the UFO secrecy, called Majestic 12 in these narratives, has had a big split. A younger faction allegedly wants disclosure of the truth about ETs and technology.
So less secrecy.
Maybe. The source claims this internal conflict led to a softening of the supposed policy to immediately kill anyone who leaks information. It mentions Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project in this context, but also the alleged murder of Congressman Stephen Schiff, who was apparently trying to force disclosure about Roswell. So, still incredibly dangerous, according to the source.
And what about the cost of all this secrecy? The DUMBs, the space program?
The source puts a number on it, or at least an estimate. It talks about an off-the-books black budget for these projects, the underground bases, the secret space war, costing somewhere between $500 billion to a full $1 trillion annually.
$1 trillion a year, on top of the regular defense budget.
On top of the visible defense and intelligence spending, yes. And the source draws a direct line from that alleged massive hidden expenditure to potentially your own economic struggles. It frames it as assets stripped from Americans to fund this secret world.
Wow, okay. That is a lot to absorb. Looking at all these claims together, the SSG, the Nazi connection, Roswell, the list of alleged crimes, the secret space program, the financial cost, It's a complete counter-narrative to establish history and current events.
Absolutely. The source meticulously connects seemingly disparate threads into one single, overarching story of a hidden power structure that has supposedly been pulling the strings for decades. The main takeaway it wants you to consider is a total rethinking of the post-war world.
And it doesn't just describe the problem, right? The source offers solutions.
Oh, very strong calls for action. It demands the complete exposure and dismantling of the CIA and this alleged SSG, prosecution of the CIA under the Irish-Keogh Act,
What else?
breaking up the controlled major mass media under antitrust laws, even prosecuting media CEOs for espionage.
Pretty radical proposals.
Extremely. And the ultimate demand, the final provocative thought from the source, is for wholesale truth and disclosure from the U.S. government.
Disclosure about what specifically?
Stop the massive official lies, the source says. Tell the truth about alien ETs, about the recovered anti-gravity craft, about the secret space war program, and about suppressed technologies like zero-point energy.
So after hearing all this deep dive into the claims presented by our source, what does this all mean for you, listening? What stands out as the most unsettling or perhaps the most compelling claim from this journey into the shadowy world our sources describe?